Hey everyone, what up? Matt Kaiser here. Now as you guys know, I'm a big fan of JRPGs, and you guys also probably know that I'm also Australian. And this got me thinking, with so many JRPGs out there, I was wondering, has Australia got some representation? Well, it turns out it does. Though it's not quite as vast as say America, Japan and Europe, but it's still decent enough. And this video actually comes from some inspiration I took from Chicken Fillets, where a Scottish man like himself has talked about at least 5 Scottish characters in JRPGs. But I want to do something a little bit more extra here, as in this collab, I also gathered some other JRPG content creators who are also Australian like myself, and together we're going to list down at least 5 Australian characters in JRPGs. And this list down goes to many things like from the accent to the Aussie slang, and to maybe sometimes who's voicing a character that does sound relatively Australian. But before we begin, if you like what you've seen, hit the bell means. Like the video, click the subscribe button if you're new, and hit that bell notification icon if you want more JRPG content from yours truly. Not only that, but I'm currently in the middle of playing Persona 5 Royal, and hopefully before this year ends, I'll be able to deliver my long-awaited 750 subscriber special of Persona 5 Royal, so please do look forward to that. With that said, let's get back to the video and head straight on to the list.
G'day mates, Hellfire RPGs here. Thanks for having me on, Mad Kaiser. Aussie characters in JRPGs. Yeah, there's a few that definitely stand out, but Australia and the accent really doesn't get much love. Most characters on this list will no doubt be included because of their voice actors, but I'm going a little bit different today. I'm going with Dolphin from Breath of Fire 3. When you first encounter Mr. Dolphin with Ryu, Momo and Nina, he seems like a pretty nice guy, but as soon as the ladies leave, this is where his true colours show. This Dolphin turns out to be a complete jerk, repetitively spitting water into Ryu's face while using the maximum amount of Aussie slang possible. The funny thing here is that you're actually given the option to replay the scene in English as opposed to Australian, which is apparently a language. This is both hilarious and absolutely necessary because, let's be honest, if you're not from Australia, you will have no idea what he said. Anyway, after a bit more banter, the Dolphin turns into his most powerful mechanical form, resulting in a boss fight. This whole scene was just so left field. Encountering this rude Aussie character and having the translation option was hilarious and one of the most memorable moments of Breath of Fire 3 for me. Anyway, time to throw another shrimp on the barbie and do a shoey of my favourite bevy. Thanks again for having me on, Mad Kaiser, and I hope to see you all over on my channel soon.
Hello everyone, my name is Swain from Swain's Game, and I'd like to thank Mad Kaiser for inviting me to this collab. My favourite Aussie character in a JRPG is Vandham from the Xenoblade series. His VA is Simon Torps, who has voiced other characters, other series such as Hitman 2, Battlefield Gothica 2, Baldur's Gate and many more. Vandham was first introduced in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as a mercenary you encounter not long after you reach the Kingdom of Aurea. Challenges you to a battle to see if you are worthy to wield the Aegis. After the fight, he invites you back to his camp and joins you for a bit as a mentor to help Rex along with the start of his journey. The way he is voiced with his lines just give us that Aussie vibe and attitude. Here are a few examples of some voice lines that he does during the game.
Guts is all you need. Feeling it in me guns. Sensing danger in me muscles. We've been blindsided. Bah! What? Little shrimps! Cheeky blighters! Come on!
This character is because of his casual vibes, how relaxed he is. Also, his support with the story as he helps the game progress. He also appears in Xenoblade 3 as a different character by the same name, with an NPC helping the town out. Once again, I'd like to thank Mad Kaiser for inviting me today. Tween out. See ya.
Hi everyone, Miss Mandia here. Huge thanks to Mad Kaiser for inviting me on the channel today. Now the character I'm talking about is from one of my favourite JRPGs on the Switch, and that is Rachel from Live Alive, who is voiced by Penelope Rollins.
Hello, my name is Rachel. Looking forward to working with you.
Rachel's a character that appears during the Distant Future chapter of the game, which takes place on a transport freighter spaceship. She's a really interesting character that has a surprising amount of depth, and she also happens to be a key player in the events of the chapter. When I first heard Rachel, I was really excited because it's not very often you come across an Australian in an RPG. This version of Live Alive is a remake of a Super Famicom game, and there's actually nothing in the script that points to her being Australian. So it seems like it was a choice made specifically during the localization of this remake. And it actually makes a lot of sense in the context of the story. It's not uncommon for space expeditions to involve multinational collaborations. And actually, each of the other crew members also have distinct accents, so I think that's what they were trying to symbolize with the casting choices. And I think that's really awesome. It's cool that something as simple as voicing can add an additional layer of flavor and context to the story. When I heard Rachel speak, she definitely sounded Australian, but I wasn't 100% sure. There were a few tells that made me think her VA might be putting it on, and lo and behold, it turns out Penelope Rollins is British. But in this performance, she was definitely channeling Australia, and honestly, she did a fantastic job. Usually when someone's putting on our accent, it's really easy to tell. People tend to slip into a more New Zealand voice, and even though Rachel definitely has those moments, overall I think Penelope did it a lot of justice. As an Australian, I am happy to claim Rachel as one of our own, and if she is supposed to be Kiwi, I'm sorry, please don't come for me.
What's going on, guys? Upper Nimbus here. So big thanks to Mad Kaiser for inviting me on this collaboration where we're going to be talking about characters with Australian accents. So my choice for this list is actually going to be Monica from Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Now this is a character that does appear later on in the game, about the halfway point, so I'm going to make sure not to talk about too much about the story in regards to Monica and just focus on Monica herself.
I'll show you. You'll find it quite interesting.
So like I just mentioned, Monica appears about halfway through Xenoblade Chronicles 3 at the base of the Great Sword. And we actually find out that her full name is Monica Van Dam. And she's actually the daughter of Guernica Van Dam, who appeared at the beginning of the game, and also the mother of Gondor Van Dam. Monica is the head of House Van Dam and also the leader of the Lost Numbers, a rebellious group that goes against the Flow and Mobius itself. Now the really cool thing about Monica is that, specifically with the Van Dam family, is that they're all Australian. And it makes me wonder because when you go back to the very beginning of the Van Dam bloodline within Xenoblade Chronicles 3, they weren't actually Australian, they were more Cockney. So I can kind of see the connection of how British Cockney turns into the Australian accent. The English voice actor for Monica Van Dam, literally English, she is actually British, is Pippa Bennett Warner. She's made appearances in both Doctor Who and Agatha Christie, which are big deals over in the UK. And despite Pippa's age only being that of 36, she's got a massive filmography behind her. Also, I might add that yes, she is absolutely gorgeous. So out of the three Van Dams, why did I choose Monica specifically for this video? Well, it's mainly because I think Monica is the most likable and coolest. Well, to be honest, Guernica Van Dam is pretty damn badass, but the unfortunate reality is he only really appears at the beginning of the game, so we don't really get a lot of screen time with him, whereas with Monica we do. Mad Kaiser, thank you so much for inviting me to this collaboration of yours. I had an awesome time talking about Monica Van Dam, and of course, I look forward to everybody else's choice within this video. So until the next time, everybody, Upper Nimbus is signing off.
And thank you everyone for your wonderful picks, they were absolutely amazing. With that said, it's time to list down my pick, and that would have to be none other than Orba Young Fang from the Final Fantasy XIII trilogy. Now Fang is quite an interesting character all around, as you meet her early on in the first game, where after you do Snow's section in Lake Brescia, where he completes by capturing his own Eidolon and is trying to protect Sarah and the Crystal, where you meet Fang and her resistance group known as the Cavalry, which is led by this game's version of Cid. And she is also a l'Cie like the main cast themselves, but unlike the others where they come mainly from Cocoon, the world that they're currently living in, her Fang, as well as her childhood friend Vanille, who is also another main party member of this game, come from Grand Pulse, which is the land down under, and it's more filled with very dangerous wildlife. Which, hey, that is more accurate for Australia, come to think of it. Alas, she's a pretty cool character, all things considered, as her personality is more cocky, brave, but sometimes a little bit more arrogant, similar to say the likes of Lightning. But deep down, she really is concerned about her best friend Vanille, and is willing to sacrifice herself to complete her focus to make sure that Vanille comes out okay. Not only that, but she serves as this game's own Dragoon, having a very big spear, and having her iconic High Wind, which is, a staple for the Dragoon series. Not only that, but she can also become a very handy blocker and debuffer, as well as a good physical unit. And heck, during my playthrough, I used her a lot alongside Hope, Lightning, and so on. And she has a really good voice that really sounds like Australian.
Don't be shy.
Okay.
Nowhere near. You got time.
Even though the actress herself isn't from Australia, as she's voiced by renowned voice actress Rachel Robertson, who's American and voices other animes as well as video games, with the likes of Judith from Fire Emblem Three Houses, Kate from Cyberpunk Edgerunners, Irene from Fairy Tail, as well as many other roles. But her performance as Fang was really convincing, and I didn't think that she would pull off an amazing character, let alone an amazing performance. She's honestly one of the highlights of the Final Fantasy XIII trilogy, as she does even make appearances in the sequels. But alas, Fang is a cool character, and hopefully if Final Fantasy XIII does get remastered at some point, I do hope a new generation can enjoy this character as much as I do. But alas, that'll be it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this collab. Special thanks to the amazing people I got to work with. I'll have their links in the description below so you can subscribe to their amazing content. And let me know down in the comments if you yourself have found any other Aussie characters in JRPGs. Let me know down in the comments. But with that said, until then, Mad Kaiser out.